Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Thomas. Today we're back here with PhantomStrider. Man, that was fast. Anyway, we're here with names that are actually illegal or banned in parts of the world. I'm not kidding. These are names you can't use, or you'll probably either get a fine or jail time. I'm kind of curious now. I don't know any on the top of my head, but I don't know. Let's just see which ones got banned and why. Be sure to like, subscribe for more. Hope you enjoy. Let's check it out.
Howdy.
Howdy.
Across the world, certain names are prohibited depending on what country you go to. They might be illegal for being obscene, offensive, too long, they might be a title, or sometimes too many disturbing connotations are behind the name. Or the name's a statement such as Save Mother Earth. Please don't name your child that. The following
please don't. They're not fast
notorious band names. These are the banned names across the world. And whether or not you agree with these names being banned, or with any names being banned, I hope it's at least interesting to see the reasoning behind why the world might prohibit a name. With that said, let's begin. Let's start with the name Adolf. This name is illegal in a whole lot of countries, including Germany, Malaysia, Mexico, and New Zealand. Obviously, this name is banned due to it being the name of the Nazi leader and the guy who organized the genocide of millions of people. However, the name Adolf Hitler is not illegal in America. There aren't many names illegal in America. I think the California teacher Stacy had an interesting statement that might reflect the common American sentiment.
I don't think names should be illegal, but some may warrant a call to Child Protective Services, such as Adolf.
I get many Americans trying to respect the Bill of Rights by avoiding making names illegal. Though I do wonder if they're breaking that freedom by harming a human being and giving them a name that will have them forever associated with a mass-murdering megalomaniac. Interestingly, in countries like Namibia, Southern Africa, there are famous politicians with strange names like this, such as a civil rights activist and politician Adolf Hitler Unona, still currently in office. When asked about his name, Mr. Unona had some interesting comments, saying his father probably did name him after the Nazi leader, but he didn't think his dad knew what kind of person Adolf Hitler was.
It wasn't until I was growing up that I realized this man wanted to subjugate the whole world. I usually go by my name Adolf Ununa in public. I currently have no goals of world domination.
Some other unusual baby names banned in Germany include Stompy, Osama bin Laden, and Matty. Why Matty? But compared to other countries, Germany's actually pretty lax with what names it allows. And next up we have...
Okay, I mean, that I understand, and I actually do remember there was, like, some Reddit stories, they'll, like, name it, like, Ubi or Numi, and there was like, naming after a serial killer. I'm not gonna say who, because I feel like if I say it, I'm gonna get banned here, but just TP, and I'll just go with that, because I don't want to say anything more. Moving along.
What? 10,116. Illegal in Sweden.
What is this? Did the quadratic formula explode?
Well, who
I
hasn't
thought
wanted
so
to name
too.
their
What
child
is that?
Oh, hang on. What's that, Boo? Oh, it's pronounced Albin.
What?
Oh,
wait,
that makes
that's
perfect
Albin?
sense. This name was given to a child in Sweden born in 1991 because the parents had failed to register their child's name by their 5th birthday. A court in Sweden fined 5,000 krona. This is the equivalent to about $1,438 US nowadays. In response to this fine, the parents submitted the 43-letter monstrosity name, etc. 10,116.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna try.
Albin. The parents claimed,
this name is a pregnant expressionistic development that we see as an artistic creation.
Since the court wasn't born yesterday, they rejected the name and upheld the fine. Then the parents tried to name their child A. Really thinking outside the box there, guys. But the court, understandably, didn't allow one-letter names. So finally, the poor child was named Albin Gustav Tarzan Halen. My condolences, young man.
Little did he know, that Swedish young man was me.
Wait, it was?
Nah, I'm just joshing ya.
Okay.
Next we have Bonghead. Illegal in Australia. Thank goodness. Oh, you've got to be kidding. Who would do that to a child? I wouldn't name my guinea pig Bonghead. Maybe Sooty? Or Watson? Oh, how about Steve? Anyway, in case you don't know, this name is also used for the water pipe used for smoking drugs, including but not limited to tobacco and other herbal substances. The reasoning given by the Australian government was that it was considered offensive. And yeah, can't argue with that. Another name banned in Australia is spinach, but I can't understand why. Spinach? It goes great with chow mein. Maybe it'd go great on my license too. Little else to say on these two, so here are some of my country's other rejected illegal names.
This that'd be good. What else?
Head, Jesus Christ, IKEA, Mary Juana, very clever, Medicare, name of our healthcare service, Panties, Scriptum, God, Satan, Head, Lucifer, Smelly, Lol. Yes, someone actually tried to name their child that. Iron Sauce, Snot, Virgin, and Detroit. You know, for whoever tries to name their kids most of these names, maybe they should be introduced to the option of foster care. Nothing against them, but raising a child isn't for everyone. And for the child's good mental health and development, foster care might be a better option. And in the adoption papers, maybe include a change of name form. Number 5.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Bonghead? Wow. Eesh. I mean, I'm surprised no one tried Wanka. I'm just saying. I mean, it's pretty much a go-to insult, like, yo, Wanka. I swear. Or wait, is it Australian, I think? Wanker? Or is that just British? I don't know. Anyway, we got Bonghead, we got Pot. What? What is going on? I wonder if, actually, I was about to say that in here, but then again, we pretty much name people weird stuff here too. You know what I mean? Anyway, next.
At symbol. Banned in China. A Chinese couple tried to give their child the name At, pronounced Aita. It sounds similar to love them in Mandarin Chinese. And honestly, this one sounds like a kind of cool name to me. Aita. So cool. But while the naming restrictions are pretty loose in China, symbols alone are not allowed, so the name was rejected. Although Chinese parents can choose almost any name they want for their kids, but it's strongly encouraged to use names that are easily read or scannable by a computer. And having a symbol as a name, that's going to cause technical problems everywhere. The Chinese parents justify the name with what sounds like a legitimate fair reason.
The @ character used in email addresses echoes our love for our child.
Aw, that's nice. But there is a few other recent Chinese name bans, such as Muslim-based names that the Chinese government deems too extreme, or may have quote-unquote connotations of holy war.
Really?
These names include Islam, Quran, Saddam, and yes, of course, the name Muhammad. Legislation enacted in 2017 makes it illegal to give children names that the Chinese government deems to exaggerate religious fervor. But again, the Chinese names in general are relatively lax, at least compared to other countries. Number 4, the many banned names of Portugal. There is definitely cases where naming laws are taken too far. And I think countries such as Portugal are a good example of this.
Is it just Portugal?
If you have a Portuguese child, there's actually a list of state-approved names from which you have to choose from. In fact, according to Portugal list, the list of banned Portugal names runs for about 80 pages. And due to Portugal's extremely strict naming registry, many people share the same first name. So if you yell out into a crowd, "Hey, Pedro!" a lot of people might turn around to look at you. So as a result of these stringent naming policies, here is a tiny example of the many banned names in Portugal.
Sky,
Wolf,
Romeo?
Calvin, no Calvin and Hobbes for them. Sun, Man, Nirvana, Sky, Paris, Pablo, no Pablo. William, Catherine, George, Charlotte, Tom, Michael, Emily, Bruce, Jenny, Rihanna, Jimmy, and Viking. Maybe just play it safe and stick with Pedro.
I mean, 80
also,
names.
thanks to MX Rainbow on my Discord for the extra info he gave
Here
on
we go.
us. And coming in at number 3.
I mean, 80 names, or like 80 pages of names. Like, why? Just seems a little excessive, don't you think? Like, seriously, if your band name list is like 80, you might want to relax it, you know? Even I can tell that's just like, oh god, that's too far. Anyway, next.
Akuma, banned in Japan. You might
Wait,
recognize this as the name of the villain from Samurai Jack, but in Japanese,
Street Fighter.
Akuma means devil. So Japan wasn't keen on people naming themselves after a devil. There's not too much information on this one in English, but according to the Japanese guide forums.
In 1993, the municipal office didn't approve his name Akuma. They said the name make fun of him. We're afraid he will be teased by other kids in the school, so parents should not give their child such name.
Well, that's very thoughtful of them. Nowadays, with anime like Bleach, I wonder if the kids would actually consider it a cool name. Next up, we have the name Cyanide, banned in the UK. It may be a natural ingredient, but I don't think most people think positively of the stuff. At least I hope not. But there was a Welsh woman in Wales who was the exception. She was going to name her twin girl Cyanide, but according to UK solicitors...
The name is not allowed, as it could cause emotional harm to the child.
Yeah, I'm calling that one fair. The mother wanted to call
Even
her
I would have been
other
like,
twin
really?
girl
You named your
Preacher,
kid Cyanide?
but I don't
Dude,
suspect the
get your
judge
head
was in
checked
a
out.
particularly good mood after the whole naming my child Cyanide thing. And they rejected this name too.
Yeah.
The judge made a court
If I saw
order
that, I would be
the
like,
mother be
yeah,
prevented from registering these names or referring to her children by these names. The mother tried to appeal the ban, insisting that the name Cyanide had positive connotations. Okay. Because it was the poison that ended the life of Adolf Hitler, the Nazi leader. Oh, poor kid. But the Court of Appeal also ruled that naming a child after a notorious poison was unacceptable. They noted also that normally the UK courts would consider restricting a child's name to be a bad move. And they noted that restricting the names of people
if it's bad after a
should
poison,
only be used
maybe
in
not
extreme cases. And the court was satisfied that the girl would likely suffer significant emotional harm if she were to be named Cyanide. Which I
can you
personally
blame
agree.
him?
I
I
think
probably
that's a
would wear that
perfectly fair
too.
call. Some other unusual names banned in the UK include Martian, I guess reserved if you want your kid to feel like an outsider from the day they're born. Monkey, Nutella. Countries really don't like their children being named after this hazelnut spread for some reason. I have no idea why. Robocop, Rogue, and of course, Lucifer and Akuma, because demon names seem to be frowned upon seemingly worldwide. And now, let's go through some quick honorable mentions. Here we have some names that aren't inherently banned, but are frowned upon by the court, and children literally sued their parents over these names. Tallulah does the hula from Hawaii. No, I'm not announcing where they came from. That was their entire name. Poor Tallulah. In fact, the 9-year-old Hawaiian girl was so embarrassed by her name, she went by the alias K to avoid being teased and ridiculed in school. I mean, clearly her New Zealand folks really loved the islands, and I love the hula, and the ukulele, and I love Hawaii. But I gotta level with you, that's a really stupid name.
Tallulah.
During a custody battle with Tallulah's parents, Tallulah was put under the protection of the courts, and they ordered her name changed. And the judge berated her parents for settling their child with such a silly name. The court wrote this in their ruling.
Tallulah does the hula in Hawaii. The court is profoundly concerned about the parents' very poor judgment in choosing this name.
Sonic X, banned in Norway. Sort of. Apparently the regulations of Norway naming are a bit more relaxed than somewhere like Portugal. The Norway naming rules state,
parents may not choose a name for their child that may become a significant disadvantage.
And in 2009, we got the silliest but also the most awesome story on this list. A 6-year-old Norwegian boy named Krista wanted to change his name to Sonic X. Let's call him Chris for short.
I mean, have you guys seen Sonic X? When I was a kid, that show was amazing, so like, I kinda get what Chris was all about.
In Norway, the king has to approve a name change. So young Chris sent a letter to the King of Norway, King Harald V, requesting his name be changed to Sonic X. After much badgering to his parents, they reluctantly sent the letter. King Harald V personally responded to the young fellow's letter.
Dear Chris, unfortunately at this stage, I cannot approve your name change to Sonic X, but feel free to reapply once you've turned 18 years old.
Anyway, with those said, on to number 1. And finally we have...
Yeah, that's probably the safest way you can answer a kid. Like, you might want to wait. I mean, Sonic does sound like a cool name, but, I mean, considering the game character, I'd be a little worried that this causes a lawsuit or something. Especially with a bad Sonic game, you know? Like, you know, Lyric. I mean, I can see it, but yikes. Anyway, so Santa Claus, and Yeah, I think you can see where that's coming with. Trademark. I can see it. Anyway.
Santa Claus, banned in Ohio.
Ohio?
I think we need something lighter after number 2. In this case, this was an adult trying to change their name to the man in the red suit in the white beard. In 1999, a Santa impersonator wanted to legally change their name to Santa Robert Claus. But the court denied the request because they thought allowing him to have the most iconic name of all time would be misleading to the children of the community. On the other hand, in some parts of America, the name change to Santa Claus is gladly accepted. For example, the Utah Supreme Court approved the name change for a Salt Lake City man. And in 2012, a judge in New York happily approved the name change. She even had tears of joy in her eyes. Aw, that's beautiful. Now Santa Claus lives in upstate New York. Don't tell the kids. He spends most of the year attending charity events and making appearances. Vice interviewed him and asked what it was like. Oh, I do a lot of house visits. And the kids would see me pull up in my truck and naturally think, oh, he's got to be a fake Santa. I often get people asking me to prove that I'm Santa. And now I can. I just show them my license. Honestly, it sounds like he deserves the name. Vice heckled him a little on whether it's difficult to have the name year-round. But I can assure them, some people in charity events are desperate to see Santa Claus any time of year. And Santa will be a welcome sight year-round. Anyway, he sounds like the real Santa to me. If he can use his name to bring a little more joy to people, props to him. Anyway, a child can always change their name when they're older, but I personally think they should be given a decent name and not a joke name in their young years. Life might be a joke at times, but a living human being isn't a joke, nor is self-respect a joke. So I personally don't think their names should be either. But feel free to let me know what you think of these names or other crazy names I might have missed in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching and hope to see you next time.
Bye-bye.
For this video, I'd like...
Yeah, honestly, with some of those names, I would be like, well, you're asking for a lot of bullying, I swear. I mean, some of these you just feel like, yeah, they're gonna struggle a lot. Jeez, you worry about them. Just do. Hey, let me know if you heard, let me know the dumbest name you ever heard someone named after, let me know. But other than that, I got nothing. Adios.